Okay, welcome to. Are we actually calling it Timey Wimey Talk, or
Well,
is that
I
just
made the
like?
logo, so yeah.
Okay, I guess we are. The more that I think about it, the more of a terrible name it is. But welcome
Well,
to
can you
this
think of a better
thing.
name?
It's too late for a better name now.
It's not really. I can very quickly change it.
Hello and welcome to this thing. Whatever the name is,
That's a
pending.
great start to a podcast. We really want
It is a
to
very
be
good
very
start.
clear that we
Very good.
planned this out very extensively.
Yeah,
We planned
yeah.
every
So welcome.
episode of this podcast out. We've got a whole massive storyline in the works. 100%.
Yeah,
We've planned it out so efficiently that it's just
very
going to be better than
efficiently.
the show, basically, because we've done so much work to plan out this podcast and we haven't just made it in 2 seconds.
No,
Sorry for
but yeah.
interrupting the
Welcome.
very first intro, but keep going.
I know. You're very rude.
I am a very rude
Uh,
person. That is
yeah.
somebody that
Welcome.
the audience will learn.
Welcome to this thing. Timey Wimey Talk, I think, is the name we settled on before, just
Yes,
changing our mind.
very. If the name is different, that's just because we planned out so well. It's like a big plot twist.
I know. So it's our excuse to talk about Doctor Who more than we usually do. But we also put it on the internet.
Exactly,
And
because
obviously
we can get
today,
money,
yeah. Well, I
which we
mean,
totally will.
hopefully, if you get to 1,000 subscribers or 500, I think is the benchmark now.
Yeah, our
Um,
incredible
we,
audience will give us money. That's just how it works.
yeah. So we've this is our excuse to talk about Doctor Who, and
This is just
um,
my excuse to bully you. That's what it really is. But yeah,
or my excuse to show you why you're wrong about your opinions about the show so far.
my opinions are
But
very
obviously,
correct. We will learn that as it goes on. But I only have right
yeah,
opinions.
um, we will learn in due time that they are actually wrong. Uh, but we're starting at the very start. But not the very start of what Russell
We're
T
starting at the
Davis is
very
saying
start.
is
We're starting with the one where he's in like a scrapyard. It's black and white.
yes.
He's like a teacher or something, and he's like he has
Yeah,
like a
and it's
daughter.
played by it's the 14th Doctor as well. So in the Star Beast, that long time, 8 months ago, um, which we are starting a couple months late.
Yeah, so
The next
don't worry
episode
about
isn't.
we're recording like there's this big like massive excitement for the finale, and here we are on like an episode people talked about months ago. But that's just because we're ahead of the
Yeah,
curve. See, because there's
yeah,
no
exactly.
competition, we're going to be at the top of the charts. It's that easy.
Exactly. We're capitalizing on the declining ratings. Oh my God. Um, but yeah. So we are just starting with the Star Beast today, but hopefully, if we have the sheer willpower to carry on, we will hopefully reach the Empire of Death in 5 months' time when it's already concluded in a
Exactly.
couple days. So yeah, we're starting with the Star Beast.
An
The
episode that I have only watched months ago, and I haven't watched it all in preparation because I'm very good at planning things.
I have watched it in preparation. I'm very organized. I've watched it twice, today and yesterday. I mean, I haven't written essays down, but I mean, I've got the notes, a couple down, but I mean, just some points I want to go by. Um, we'll start off with like the episode overall. Like we'll start with the episode, and then we'll obviously talk around it because obviously there is a lot of talk about this episode. Obviously,
Yeah, a lot of very
that
reasonable
happened a lot.
talk from people who aren't biased or misogynistic or just like completely
Yeah,
insane. But yeah,
but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
oh, of course, yeah.
We we need we need to start at the very beginning with an actual criticism in my opinion. The Doctor starts. He's landed. Well, I mean, actually, even before this, the exposition dump right at the start, where he's stood in space, and it's basically exposition
Oh, this
that happens also later in the episode.
is this even
But
part of the episode? Like, I know it's like a little like
it
intro at the
it is actually
beginning.
part of the episode. Yeah.
Is that your only
Uh,
criticism with it? That he's on a shit green screen. Is that your only
no, no, no,
complaint?
no, no. I mean, it's just this could the exposition where he's talking about Donna and like the history of like because obviously this is like supposed to be like a reboot of the show because obviously they're calling it season one, so they're obviously like catching new people up who might have not seen David Tennant, which was over a decade ago now, I think. Or like 13 years ago, like 15 years ago, I think. But it was it's exposition that also happens later that could have happened then rather than now, but it just seems kind of jarring. But I mean,
I'm guessing like the idea is you're supposed to skip this if you already like know what's going on. I think that's sort of thing with like a lot of recaps where it's just sort of for the new people, the like people who are very like who already know all this stuff can just skip to the actual episode. But like,
yeah. I mean, like, if you're on iPlayer, it doesn't give you the option to skip. So obviously, you don't want to like going right in. You don't want to be like fast forwarding through the episode, obviously. But I mean, like, I think really my only criticism is that why is he just stood in space? Why is he not just like in the TARDIS? Because the Doctor speaks to himself all the time. Why is he not just in the TARDIS, just like talking to himself or just talking to the TARDIS? I don't know. I feel like it could have been done in a better way, or like done later in the episode, like they do. But I mean, that's nitpicking. It's a very short part of the episode.
The entire episode is just ruined by this. Like, who would ever think to put a time traveling, space fearing person in space? It's ridiculous.
I know. But let's get into the actual when the Doctor lands, which is kind of strange. I mean, he lands in I think it's Camden. He's like he's walking around. He's like smiling and happy. But like, why is he? I mean, we just left.
How dare the main character of the show be happy? That's not supposed to happen.
I know, but I'm just saying. We go off from the Power of the Doctor. I think that's Jodie's last episode. That was the name of it. She's regenerated into David Tennant, and like David is just confused, shocked. He doesn't know what's going on, and then we just go right into this episode, and he's just like happy. He's in Camden.
Okay, I have your answer to this. There were, I think, like specials before this came out. Like, I think there was a
a Children in Need,
and I think that kind of like filled in the gaps between when he first regenerated and this episode. So there's not really the shock that there usually is in an opening regeneration.
It is implied that the Doctor travelled around at least a bit. He did some stuff in between regenerating and landing in the Star Beast. But I mean, it couldn't have been that long ago because the psychic paper still doesn't know that the Doctor is no longer like mistress or like female or whatever. It's the psychic paper hasn't caught up yet. So it's obviously not that long after. So he's limited by the amount of time that he's had. Because obviously when he talks to Donna's husband, I can't remember his first name, but it's Temple. He shows the psychic paper and it says mistress when he obviously it's just like a regeneration joke, but I mean and obviously he's got a new sonic screwdriver as well, so there has been
very good. And this is entirely off topic, but they made a new sonic screwdriver for like 3 episodes.
They did do that. Yeah,
that's great. Got to get those toy sales.
Yeah, but like again, that's just a nitpick of him just being smiling, just sort of out of place. But then it gets much more interesting. Obviously, straight away when we see like Donna in the when the Doctor just encounters Donna straight away, and obviously it's just like you can already feel like the chemistry as if it never even ended, as if like their time together never ended. There wasn't like a 15-year gap or like 13-year gap.
I have a bit of like a criticism with the way that Donna is introduced in this episode, because like in like a Doctor Who episode, you kind of want some sort of like adventurous sort of way that the two like companions meet, and you just don't really get that. They just sort of like meet in the middle of a market, and it's just a little underwhelming.
But that ties in a lot with I feel like it fits because that's happened so many times, obviously. Because like obviously the first time we saw Donna, the runaway bride, she just teleports into the TARDIS because of like the Ragnos energy and stuff. I think it's Artron energy or something like that.
This is all
Um
stuff that I'm very
the
familiar with as a fan of the show who hasn't just like. I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I've only watched the show once, and I don't know any of the lore. So our like knowledge of the show is very different.
yeah,
So
we're
so
coming
if
this at
she
the
knows all the
perspective.
lore, I just like know absolutely nothing.
Wait,
That's what we're going on here.
the, the sides here is that like I've been a fan ever since I was around 4, and I know nothing about film production, anything like that. While TNS is like they know all about they study film, they make films. They're
Very bad
like
ones.
um still films though. It's but they're like
Please don't look them up.
they're less of a fan than at least me. I would say that's say I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Doctor Who, but I mean
I mean, just for
it's
context, I only watched the entire show a few years back, so I'm not like a. I did have like nostalgia for the show because I did watch it a bit as a kid, but it has been. I've only started watching the Jodie Whittaker era. That's how new I am to the show. I watched it at the worst
and
possible time.
and for me it's I fell off watching Doctor Who during Jodie's second season because I just did not enjoy the show at that point. But then I came back during the flux, and then I've stayed ever
Which
since. Now,
my
obviously,
hot take is that's actually a good season of the show. That's a really good season.
we'll get into
We'll
that
get
whenever.
we'll get to it in years from now.
Yeah, when 10 years from now, when the show could have been cancelled, we'll be talking about Jodie Whittaker's
We'll
era.
have the
Um,
first we'll have the first like actual alien doctor because aliens would have discovered Earth by this point.
yeah, but obviously, going back to the coincidences, like the Doctor and Donna meeting just randomly is a established trope. So historically, I mean, obviously the runaway bride. Then when they met again, um, in the partners in crime, when they just met in the same building because they were investigating the same thing. So it's like an established it's part of the show that the Doctor and Donna, specifically the uh, David Tennant version of the Doctor, um, meets, like the universe sort of pulls the Doctor and Donna together for whatever reason. Um, like a mysterious force, usually uh, obviously to do with like the whole Doctor Donna meta crisis thing. But I think it fits well, in my opinion. The Doctor and Donna just encountering each other just right then and there. I think it fits well, in my opinion. Um, but obviously the and then obviously it continues the spaceship crashes just immediately. And obviously Donna misses it because obviously that's another established part. It just misses everything to do with aliens. Even though aliens have invaded Earth 5,000 times, and everybody's still surprised when the spaceship crash lands on Earth again, like the 50th time. Um, but that's the I think overall, I think the episode is set up really well. Um, like the first few, obviously not, in my opinion, not the exposition part, but like trying pulling you in. I think it's already pulled you in about at the start. But um, anything you got to say about that, or
Like I said, I think you need some sort of like action set piece here to like start off the episode. I mean, you kind of get that with the sort of a ship flying to like the ground and whatnot at the beginning,
yeah,
but like I just kind of wish like the interaction between the Doctor and Donna was a bit more like exciting than them just meeting in the middle of a market.
I mean, the, this is the thing with TNS is that if there's not action immediately, then it's terrible.
No, that's not what I'm
except
saying.
it's
Oh,
not terrible.
if anything, like I
Um,
kind of like hate action a lot of the time. Like my brain just shuts off when there's action. So like the weird thing is, I just feel like for like this big special, it's kind of underwhelming to just have them meet in the middle of the market and just like um also what oh wait what's going on my computer and also just having like the doctor just like uh move these like cardboard boxes that are specifically placed over Donna's head. It just seems like really convenient and not in like a space way, but just in a way where it's like a bit like weird and annoying.
yeah, I still think it fits with the established narrative of like the years and years of like Doctor and Donna stories, but that's just my opinion on that at least. But obviously, then we've got uh Donna's husband just waiting for his family in the cab because he works for, as a taxi driver, but then immediately just accepts another job. Doesn't matter. He'll just uh, he'll just take another job just to take this random man who knows Neris.
Well, but didn't you say they're a taxi driver?
Yeah, but he was like waiting.
That's how taxi drivers work, though. They
Yeah, but he
take
was like
random
wait.
people.
I know he was just waiting for his family, but then it's just like, all right, another job. Why not? I'll just take it. just,
We're in a cost
and
of
just
living
like
crisis, all right. You can't just like if a job comes, you kind of have to take it these days.
that is fair. That is fair. They did donate their triple rollover lottery winnings like 15 years ago in this show, but so fair enough. But I just think it's kind of funny just to you just like let's just Donna and Rose just walk home, but I assume they walked. Obviously, the Doctor makes his way to the crash site, and the he makes his way to like well, it's not really a crash site because it was like a park site. The established that wasn't really crashing; it was just sort of parking in like a steelworks factory thing. Um, and and then we get into the the new sonic screwdriver, the capabilities of it. Not sure if we're like going through different parts, but I mean, I'm pretty. It's like while the Doctor's like sneaking around, which I still like. I think the Doctor sneaking around while other people are also trying like on like the case and stuff. I always like that part of Doctor Who. But the Doctor just sitting in just a secluded part of the factory, just like creating like a screen with the sonic screwdriver, which was kind of interesting. Uh, I have a few opinions on like the new capabilities of the sonic screwdriver, but I think the um, like the scientific advisor as well in for unit, I think pretty well done. I mean, their wheelchair is her wheelchair is pretty blinged out with uh sort of plot saving gadgets, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
it
get
is unit.
why. I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves because we said we were going to talk about this sort of thing later, but I don't get why anyone would ever even get slightly annoyed about a disabled person being in the show and being like emboldened by it.
Yeah,
Like
I
it,
don't think most people were annoyed by it. I've not really seen that much because I've seen a lot around other parts of the episode.
but I feel
Um,
like this is sort of one of the things that like this sort of like people who are against this like so-called wokeness within the show, they point to like any sort of like sort of representation of anyone, even if it makes sense for the show, because like
mm,
of course like scientists aren't just like white old men. Like, if it's like a politician, yeah, but like it's not like unforeseeable that someone in a wheelchair would get in the position.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I haven't really seen that much discourse around it. I think their character's pretty well done. I think
Yeah,
the
I agree.
uh, I mean, there is one part that I think in one part of the episode is kind of strange, but I mean, we'll get into that later because it's a bit further down in the episode. But um, obviously, then we get into we see it another part from Donna's and Rose's perspective when they're walking back home. Obviously, um, hard not to mention part of the episode. Obviously, the transphobia towards Rose, who's the actress is also transgender, and so is the character. But I think the honestly, I think obviously like the message of it is like it was something like that was obviously needed. I don't know. I think it felt the way it was done was kind of forced. I
See,
think, in my opinion, I think
I incredibly disagree with that because
okay.
yes, the sort of like the bullying issue is sort of like forced, but in like sort of the ways that like Donna interacts with her daughter is like
I'm
so.
not saying that part.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
sorry.
saying that part. I'm just saying like the exact like just like these like kids just sort of going by and just like dead naming Rose. I mean, I just think that just that part in particular was just kind of forced. I think the honestly, I think another way it could have been done is just like Rose just saying it to Donna or like because I mean like it's it just seems unless these kids just have do not care about anything. Most kids don't bully other kids in front of that kid's parents. Usually, I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna give
I
like two like responses to this. So on the one hand, people like that who are like, insensitive to beliefs don't really care who hears what
yeah,
they say.
that is
But and another thing, it's also like a TV show, and you kind of need this like visual like representation of these like issues. Because if you just have them say it to the parent, it's not as like vivid or like interesting as if you literally see it happen.
I think again another part of it is done pretty well. Obviously, is the when Donna and Sylvie are talking, they talk about it obviously, and it's like Sylvia's still having trouble understanding the whole thing, and it's not sure uh how long obviously in Rose's life it's been um like like open with like the family and stuff, but obviously how the character Rose appears it must have been for quite a long while obviously, and it's still like hard for like Sylvia to like fully understand the whole thing and still has trouble with it, and I think that's done really well. um I mean that alone, if like the even if it's like not exactly transphobia, but I mean like accidental or like you know mistakes and stuff, I think that's done really well with the you know trying to connect with parents who might be in a similar situation with like children and stuff. It's like um it's okay to make mistakes with this. It can be hard to understand, but still you've got to love your you've got to love your children, and you've got to support them in any way you can. It's the um you need they need support, and even if you make mistakes, you got to recognize when those mistakes happen. You got to try your best to learn from them and try best to like accommodate for your children and stuff. So it's like obviously I think that scene is done really well. Obviously like the on-screen chemistry between Donna and Sylvia, like the actresses there, like they're spot on with literally everything. So it's like I think overall I think with the portrayal wise, I think um throughout the episode, for most of it at least, the message is pretty well done, I would say. Um, I just think the specific moment could have just been done differently. I don't know. But again, I might be, if it was done differently, I could be saying the same thing again. I don't know. You never know with these sorts of things.
Yeah, something else I kind of want to bring up about this sort of representation is how it does show like sort of errors that people have. Because like a lot of times, if you were to do this sort of like queer representation, you would show everyone around them who supports them as like these perfect like angel people who never do anything wrong. But like showing these like mistakes is like is a such more honest way of like showing this while also just like properly like sort of like it kind of like makes it sort of more human to these people who haven't really had an experience with like a trans person or with a gay person or with like any sort of minority. So I just feel like that's a
Exactly.
nice touch, just to have that sort of moment of like sort of a failure within a person, just to sort of like make it more like relatable to like a person who hasn't had the same experience.
Yeah, it's the overall. I think the portrayal of like a trans character in the show is very well done. Overall, in my opinion, I think the inclusion of Rose was it's it's obviously going to be tricky because like with the time scales and stuff in the show, it's set in 2023. The Doctor, uh, well, I mean the times don't really add up because the Doctor last saw Donna in 2010 during the wedding, but like it's whatever. The um uh
So
it's
very
obviously gonna be
quickly
tricky
before we
because
keep
like
going, are you recording my end of like the audio or just yours?
um
Is
just mine.
oh right, because like mine keep like the OBS on mine just keeps like buffering, and I'm not sure if it's like missing the parts when it's buffering.
Oh, okay.
That could
Just,
be
uh, I'll I'll add yours to it just in case.
yeah. All right.
Okay, but I
Oh
think
yeah.
so. What was I up to again?
So we talk about like, sort of the trans issues, I think, and then
Yeah, yeah.
I'll call this out.
So I think well, let me get back to my trail of thought. But yeah, I think it obviously adds more realism there. The overall um portrayal of a trans character pretty um pretty well done. With like the time scales and stuff, like I said, the act you it obviously Yasmin Finney doesn't look 15. Obviously, but I mean, it's a careful balance of whether you want uh, a more experienced actress or actor playing a role or a less experienced child actor. It's hard to like balance that. And obviously,
And
with like
also,
these sorts of
it's sort of the star power of that role because it's called the actress. She was also in I think was it Heartstopper, something like that. Where like it'll draw in like a new audience to the show as well. Whereas if you just have
yeah,
like a
yeah,
no name child actor, it'll be like a lot less likely to draw in an audience.
yeah. I and like again, it's a delicate balance with these sorts of things. Obviously, you don't want to like um obviously I feel like Russell T Davis wanted to cast a trans character to play this like a transgender actor to play this transgender character. So obviously you don't want to like have like an actual child actor who might be transgender to like relive these experiences because obviously Yasmin's obviously been through these and clearly has like like incorporated a lot of these sort of previous like traumas and um horrible experiences with bullying and stuff and like has like not let it put her down and like incorporate that into a character. It's obviously much harder to do that with like someone who might be around the age of the character because obviously it might be their it might be more traumatic for them, you know. So obviously it's a delicate balance with these sorts of things. I feel like they must have done that they did the best job they could. I think casting Yasmin, even if it's like doesn't quite make sense, like age wise, it's that they made the best choice with casting Yasmin. We've talked a lot about those sorts of issues, but then like obviously we
I'm trying to think myself what happens next.
yeah it's
Is this like when we first see the little like gremlin or whatnot? I
yeah
don't know the name of the
so
actual like alien, so I'm just gonna like
the
call it a little
meat.
gremlin. Yeah, the meep.
So the obviously then we're introduced to the Meep when the character of Fudge is the boy's name. He like shows Yasmin the escape pod that the Meep. Um, pretty sure the character's called Beep the Meep, but I'm not quite sure. Um, but the Yasmin goes back to I think get a phone. Rose, I keep calling Yasmin, but Rose, the character Rose, goes back to get her phone, and she meets the Meep. And I think um, initially I was kind of surprised that like she wasn't really that shocked to see the Meep, but I mean, it could tie in with like their character, the character of Rose, like not fitting in, um, feeling like an like I'm pretty sure there was like a line that she felt out of place or something like that, um, felt different or, and I think that might have been similar, or obviously it could be to do with like the uh memories of like the meta crisis and stuff. So like she's sort of like replicating similarly what the Doctor would be like. Um, well, what do you think by that? Because I mean, like she
Well, I wonder if sort
Rose
of
like
the
immediately just went to the Meep and just sort of like asked for uh the Meep's name and like what they were like. I mean, it seemed interesting. I
I
guess
wonder if
my
this is sort of like related to the sort of like the sort of like twist at the end where like I forgot what the actual twist was, but it's something to do with like where Rose was like had part of like the Doctor in them or
yeah,
something like
the
that.
shared inheritance thing.
Yeah, the shared inheritance. So I wonder if that's sort of part of it where like
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
it's something to do with like shared memories as well, right? Or is that just
yeah.
yeah? So I wonder if it's just
Uh,
sort of like she's kind of familiar with it because of this like shared inheritance.
yeah. So it's obviously it could be many things, but I think obviously then um she Brit Rose brings the Meep into like her little shed where she um like builds uh stuff like well like puts together like plushies and all that to like sell apparently to Dubai I guess and then obviously we're introduced to the um we're introduced to like the bug creatures. I'm not quite sure what their name was, but they're the ones who are like hunting the meat and
Yeah.
stuff. Um, obviously, like turns out that they're like the good guys, but like they seem like the bad guys initially as there's the, like the twist. But I think um uh the initial introduction of those characters was obviously they're not looking for that kid. They encounter Fudge. Obviously they're not looking for that kid. They're looking for the meat. But um, obviously I think they do a pretty good job of uh, subtle clues that things aren't quite what they seem initially. But
Well, could you give some like examples of
and then
these
obviously
clues? Because like I said, I've only seen the episode once. So I didn't really pick up any of
so
these, so I feel it'd be an interesting
uh,
sort of thing for the listeners.
obviously the clues are um the the bug creatures, they don't really attack anybody apart from when the meeps like soldiers start firing at them. And obviously they don't. Obviously, I think they do destroy like a wall and stuff, but um,
You just
other
said that's
clues are
like
like
collateral damage or something.
yeah. But then again, I think the obviously the uh the clues like the spaceship parking doesn't really seem to fit. Doesn't really seem like it would fit like an entire army of these sort of bug creatures, and obviously the escape pod as well, and the way the spaceship sort of infected those soldiers, those unit soldiers. Like they're protecting the Meep, so it's obviously like a clue. Like, why does the Meep need to hypnotize these people, or did the Meep? But is this the Meep spaceship? I mean, that's their escape pod, but I mean, we never know. I mean, obviously these are like subtle clues, but I mean, the major ones are like the when they manage to escape the house, manage to go down the next few houses. Obviously they're not actually killing them because the doctor checks for a pulse for one of the soldiers, and obviously it's still there, so they're not killing anybody. They're just like and obviously when they drive away in the taxi, the blasts of the gun don't damage the car at all. Like even if they shoot the window, they shot at the window, and obviously there's no damage at all. So and as well as like the um sonic screwdriver force fields, we see the soldiers destroy one of the force fields, but we don't see like the bug creatures sort of destroy one of them. Obviously, their bullets or projectiles or whatever aren't damaging anything. Obviously, these are like sort of smaller clues that lead towards obviously the big reveal, which is later. But I think we do have something else to go through. It's the shed, obviously, because it's like a big part of like the story, if you remember, is like the toys and plushies that Rose made are sort of like from the memories that was passed on from Donna.
Yeah, but I'll be
Like you
honest,
see,
some of those weren't really the best. Like I couldn't tell what like half of those were.
yeah, these were one of them was like the devil or like Satan from Satan's pit. One was the Ood. One was supposed to be a Dalek, but it's just a blue fuzzy thing with an eye. So it's not really that much of a Dalek. Obviously, we're like a Cyberman. But like the only annoying thing is it was all hidden away because you don't see any of these until the reveal, so it doesn't really fit. It would have worked better if we actually saw some of them at least, while Rose and the Meep were alone in the shed, or maybe with the materials and stuff that Rose and Donna were carrying at the start of the episode. It could
I
have.
don't even get why you would do that because like to like have the other ones that aren't the part of the reveal, that is like so much more effort just to make ones that have nothing to do with the reveal. When like it would just be better to have the ones that like are the certain monsters from the show.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Is
Yeah.
like none of them like when they reveal the meta crisis got passed down from Donna. They show these plushies, obviously with these previous travels that the Doctor and Donna went on, but we don't see any of these until the reveal. And it would have been, and I think it would have been better if we actually like saw these, because when we see the plushies inside the shed, they're just generic plushies that don't show like any previous aliens or anything. That would have been better if we actually saw these like Ood looking ones, like maybe just in a background shot or something, just like in the background of part of a scene or something. It would have like been better for like keen-eyed viewers or something that sort of notice these things, because they like think, because like they can see these things, and as well as like the shed as well. They hid like the part of the shed that was painted to look like the TARDIS with the keep out sign. So I mean, like it feels like they hid everything towards the end just for like a bigger reveal. But I mean, it could have been felt more earned if they left some of these clues, but it doesn't feel like any clues were left during it at all.
Mm. Yeah, that's kind of like a big like sort of issue that shows can have as well. Like, you'll have this like reveal that is just like there is absolutely no way you can ever figure out that this is what it was for. Which like, I feel like in a lot of cases it's just like ruins the entire point of having a reveal in the first place. Because if you have all this like set up for a reveal, it makes it really satisfying. Whereas if you just pull something out of a box that no one has ever seen and be like, oh yeah, this is actually the evidence for this reveal, it just seems really like cheap and lazy.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it just feels unearned in this case because the everything, all of the evidence or clues that could have been laid along the way was just shown while the reveal was happening. So it just kind of felt, I don't know, it just doesn't seem, I just don't see any reason why it would be done like that. But I guess, however they write it, I guess. But I think obviously in the shed we see like Miriam Margolyes does like an incredible job as the Meep. I mean, even like as like the cutesy fake Meep, I guess they just like when the Meep is just the whole part of that was just like in my opinion was just really funny because the obviously like you've got Donna who just keeps complimenting the design work of the Meep, even though it's not one of Rose's works or anything. And then obviously she like pokes the Meep's eye, and then obviously the chaos ensues from there. Because obviously then we've just got Donna calling it a Martian or a thing. You've just got Sylvia getting in the way, but saying none of this is real. The doctor shows up. Yeah, it's. I think it's a very well put together scene. And then obviously when Donna's husband comes back home, he's just first line was about dinner, and I think like the entire scene of this of like I guess like the big reunion of everybody, every major character so far. I think was really well done in my opinion. I think I think the whole section of Donna finding the Meep, and obviously the doctor showing up, and then obviously the everybody like just Sylvia being overall I mean Sylvia's like worst case scenario in like her worst nightmares have come true, that everything is just like thinks that Donna's just gonna like explode or something. But I think and then obviously we got the big scene when the doctor calls the Meep the he, and then
oh, pronouns, my favorite.
Oh god, yeah. I think to be fair, I think this scene was done pretty well.
Yeah,
I think it could have been
like
a lot more.
What a lot of the people who got outraged by it didn't really realize. Well, I think they did realize, but they just ignored it. Is that this scene is supposed to be comedic? Like,
Yeah,
it's not like a serious thing where it's like there are like people whose pronouns are the Meep. So it's not like
Yeah.
it's. I mean, even if like you have issues with that, which I don't know why you would, it's just human decency. But even if you did have issues with like pronouns, it is very clearly like making fun of the idea in like a way.
yeah,
So I really don't understand why people will get like outraged by these like if it's like a people say that things are like shoved in the face. I don't agree with that, but I can understand sort of where that criticism is coming from. But if it's literally supposed to be a joke within the show itself, I don't know where like the criticism is even coming from. I feel like sometimes it's just sort of to get this sort of rage and like build up of like sort of like it's basically just a view farm. They just do it. They just get
it
these
is
like
just a grift.
just a grift to get these same opinions over and over again, just so they can get views from people who don't want a new opinion.
Yeah, just
They want the
it's
same.
just mainly.
They want the same opinion they've already heard about how everything is not like it used to be. It used to be really good when we hated gay people, but now it's awful because there is one gay person in the show that isn't even the reason why the show is bad. Because I feel like another thing that makes
Yeah,
this sort of an issue is sometimes these woke like brigade people will sort of like hang on to these like sort of actual like bad shows, and because their criticisms are so weak, it just invalidates everything they're saying. Because like even if it is a bad show, the
yeah. I
criticisms
mean,
they are using are so lazy and played out that it would be more useful to give some actual criticisms
it's
of
just
the show.
pronouns bad.
Yeah,
It's literally just pronouns bad, and that's it. Video done. For them. But I mean, obviously, when it comes to current in like for like the 60th anniversary specials, when it comes to like gags and quick jokes that just spark outrage on Twitter, pretty much, um, is and obviously like right wing YouTube.
I would say
It's
this wasn't the main thing
very
that
much
sparked
like
outrage. It was just at the start of it. Like people who already felt that, like, I mean, they were probably already like a bit peeved off by the trans character, and then that was just like for some reason
yeah.
the like final what's it called, like I don't get why you would get annoyed about someone like an alien having a different experience to like the majority of humans. Like it's not like
I
it was
know.
like a human character that had different pronouns, which wouldn't be an issue anyway, of course. But even if like it was, like it is an alien that has an entirely different like way of life from any human. So like people would why don't people get annoyed if like they have free eyes, because humans don't have free eyes? What's with this horrible representation? Like it just doesn't really
Yeah,
make much sense why like people would get so mad about these smallest details when like
I
a
know.
show is bad by its overall like whole parts, and one scene where like something that you don't agree with happens doesn't make the entire show bad. Even if like
Yeah,
let's say for example there was this magnificent show, but it had one scene where it was just a Hitler monologue, would that make the entire show bad? Yes, but this is a bad example actually. I don't know why my mind immediately went to Hitler, but like it doesn't invalidate the rest of the hard work that went into the other parts of the show that don't have to do with the parts that you disagree with. The rest of the show can still be good or
okay.
bad without
I
these
mean,
like elements that you may not like.
yeah. I mean, when you touched on like the small parts of a show doesn't make the whole thing bad. And this is like another story for another time. But there is this YouTuber that I have seen. It's not the one I showed you
Oh, right.
long before, but it's a different one that a new one I've seen. Cause I just see all these on YouTube.
Why'd you
It's just
watch
like
these?
someone.
Like, what is this?
Yes, I know,
Why
because
would you?
I just want to get annoyed. But it's just Twitter basically. It's
So,
like
so a question I'm just going to ask quickly is: do you think people get these views from people? Well, I'm pretty sure you get them from people who genuinely agree with them. But do you feel like half it is people who agree, and then half is just like rage clicks, or people who watch it just to get annoyed?
I think most of it is just because people uh feel like they feel like the things they like or like the media that they like is getting like quote unquote sullied or like ruined by like new things apparently.
Even though
I
these
think
things have
apparently new things are
existed
bad.
for their entire lives, it's only an issue
Yeah,
now when
yeah.
it's in the news
But
story.
like obviously we don't want to dwell too much because obviously it's a tiny part of such a huge thing because obviously like an hour long episode and it's like one scene, but I mean like it just crazy how it just sparked this whole thing, um just this whole outrage. But I mean, um it's I think the um it it just I think it, honestly I think the it just showed like how little people people were just like eagle-eyed looking for just that one moment to complain about, just to try and discredit the whole thing.
I feel
But
very,
there's so much
very
to
quick.
it,
I feel
obviously.
like a lot of people sort of like look through any sort of media with that lens, where they will be
Yeah,
looking for anything they watch, and if there is anything that they slightly don't agree with, they will get like sort of riled up by it.
yeah, yeah. And I think and I think like Doctor Who has been no different in that regard. It's been controversial so many times. I think the um I don't think this is any different, honestly. But obviously that's like um one small part of like a larger part. But then we get into the um we obviously get into the next part where it's basically like the just an all out war between um the Meep soldiers who are like under control of like the Meep ship or like the a being or something, and like the bug creatures. Still don't know their name. I still can't remember. But um, how do you feel about the sonic screwdriver now
Well, to
with
be,
like the
I don't
force
really.
field stuff?
It's kind of always been just this gadget to use to get out of situations where like the writers don't really know how they're going to do it. Like, oh yeah, we have this magic device that can do anything. So I feel like it's not really that much
Yeah,
more extreme than what it could do in the past. It's just people, like we said earlier,
yeah,
people don't like new things. So if anything is slightly different, people are gonna hate it anyway. Even though like it's not like an overpowered thing that it can make walls or whatnot. Like it is just like a
yeah,
small thing that was used in one episode that will probably never be used again. Because I bet if you look past all the continuity of the
yeah,
show, there are like hundreds of like ideas that they used in one episode that could like break the entire fabric of the show that just like never get used again. Like when a lot of
yeah.
the time stuff like this is just used to sort of like um, get the characters from one place to another in a way that like doesn't like seem improbable. So yeah.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, that is a fair perspective. Obviously, I think the um I feel like the um obviously I just feel like they need to be clever about it. I don't mind obviously like new things being added to the Sonic, because obviously that's not new. The Sonic being able to do new things. I mean like the arbitrary idea that the Sonic screwdriver can't do anything to do with wood until that time where it could. Um, I mean, it just the writer limits the Sonic to whatever they see fit, really. And obviously, in this time, they didn't really feel like they needed to limit the Sonic at all. But I don't know. I think they need to. I just think they need to be clever about it.
Also, I'm just
Limit the
gonna like
Sonic.
go on a bit of a rant here about this show. Is that like
Oh, okay.
a lot of the concepts in this show to me just kind of seem very like underexplained, even though like there's these loads of scenes where they just like go on a massive like monologue about exposition. I still really don't know what the sonic screwdriver can do other than like open doors occasionally. It always seems like this impossibly like useful device, but I never know what it does. It's just kind of like a thing that can do anything that the plot needs. Whereas like I feel it'd be more interesting if the rules were more clear stated, other than just it can't do anything for wood. Because like it's such like
Mm.
a overpowered thing that it's just like there's no rules to it, and it just feels like it's very underexplained in the entirety of the show, in my opinion.
I think that the whole point behind the Sonic was it's it is basically the gadget that basically gets the Doctor when he's in too much of a pickle. He just he can rely on the help of the trusty old Sonic. It's like it's for the same reason um to try and explain why people just sort of trust the Doctor, even if they're like strangers. Is like they explain that using the psychic paper. Just another aspect of the Doctor, just sort of gets him into the places that he needs to be, or like gets him out of the places that he needs to get out of. But
Yeah,
I
the
think
only issue I kind of
I'm
have with this is that the
mainly I'm
rules
not.
are never like really clearly stated about what the devices can do. Because like with like the psychic paper, for example, that has like one like clear rule where like I understand what that does, and that's like barely ever used in the show. But for what for not the main gadgets in the show, it's so like mysterious and like, at least in my experience, just so hard to understand what it does that it just kind of confuses me in the show.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think the um I hope the because I mean I'm pretty sure they've used the sonic screwdriver quite sparingly. I think, as far as I can recall, um the it's not been like overly used. I just think the I'm just glad for that. You know, only using the sonic when it's clever or very useful. I don't really feel like there needs to be rules in my opinion. I don't know. Um, I think the um I'm pretty sure Russell T Davies has already said that like he's not really going by any rules. To be fair, I think the um I think he said a lot of the rules were out the window, but I'm not quite sure exactly what he said. But um I think they did rely on the Sonic for um uh, a a portion of this, but then obviously later in the episode the Doctor ditched it when he needed to. But the because obviously you've got when they get past that, it resonates concrete, um, as well. Even though it's like I think it's mortar, I think brick and mortar, but I think this is another criticism I have of it though, is that we spent a lot of time. The Doctor is saying like if Donna remembers the Doctor, she will die. Like the Doctor doesn't know that Donna can survive the remembering him at this point, but it, it feels like the plot needs the Doctor to be the Doctor, even in front of Donna. Um, and like you just keep saying things like you keep saying things that like feel kind of careless in the situation because like when they talk to the Meep in like the living room, the Meep mentions he has two hearts. Like the Meep mentions that they have two hearts, and like the Doctor says that he also has two hearts. But then like Sylvia says like, "Oh, you mean metaphorically, yeah?" Just to like sort of like deflect that so
No,
that
I
Donna
feel like
doesn't like.
sort of the thing with that is like, I don't think the Doctor really is even focusing on that at that point, because like Sylvia is the only one really deflecting. So I feel like the Doctor is just trying to like make sure everyone's okay instead of like worrying about Donna at the moment.
Yeah, but then I mean, it sort of in that respect, it sort of cheapens um the moment at the end when he does like sort of like start like becoming emotional because he feels like he has to make Donna remember again. It's like he doesn't care then, but now he does care now. It's kind of like flip floppy in that respect, I think. But it's sort of um I think the it could have been done better if the Doctor did things like for example, when the Doctor was building the force fields, he hands the sonic screwdriver to Donna when he's moving the first one. I think something good could have been done where it was just like he realizes what he done and just sort of like snatches it back and just sort of like pretends like nothing happened. I think like that, like a small detail that could have been done to could have like made him still be aware that he's like still trying to at least try to make sure Donna doesn't remember anything. I think the sort of like it just sort of pops back in his mind, just sort of like reacts visibly. I think the things like that. I think just smaller details could have like added a lot more to it. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, like it is good to make sure it's subtle as well, because if you have like a scene where like he's overly cautious, it would just kind of like draw too much attention to it. I think, and like the
Yeah,
episode that's already like just so like packed with so much things going on. I feel like
yeah,
that's sort of the reason why it's sort of like it sort of juggles from one idea to another. It's just because like this episode is so packed with like different concepts they're trying to
yeah,
get through that like some things just get left in the wayside. Where like you just have these things that like should be important that keep getting sort of forgotten in this like frenzy of making sure they get everything in.
Yeah, it. To be fair though, with like a plot packed with a lot of details, the giggle is on a whole other level. But the Star Beast obviously similar in that respect. It's um, but obviously um, moving forward, obviously it's the um with the like the trial scene. So the I mean, I'm pretty sure we can just mainly gloss over like the trial scene because obviously it's just
Well,
like
I wouldn't
that's
say
when
gloss over it
the
because
meat
this is
turns evil.
probably my favorite scene from like this episode. Because I just like I like how like, I like when the Doctor sort of like is very like arrogant and like sort of just like kind of like they look like they're better than anyone, but in a way where they're sort of like playing a character. Because if they're like being better than anyone, it's just sort of like what they're actually like. It just seems a bit like just sort of like weird and out of character. But
What?
like I'm just saying like because like when he's sort of like the judge in the scenario, he's just like kind of like showing off, and like it's like a really enjoyable part of the episode.
He's,
Is that what we're on about?
he's not really. He's, I wouldn't say he's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think the I don't know. I think the judge thing is like because he's he is sort of playing a part there because he's like invoked like shadow proclamation articles and provisions and stuff. I think the I think in that part he's not really showing off. He's just sort of he's he's like respecting like the shadow proclamation and stuff. I think because like obviously they're supposed to be like a very major part of this universe. So I think the I wouldn't say he's showing off. I would say like he's sort of because obviously you see like the character of the judge break halfway through when the like the bug creatures are like making their case for it. So I think the I wouldn't say he's like showing off or anything, but I was mainly focusing on like the um sort of like the reveal, just sort of they're the Meepers.
yeah.
The Meepers, the real
That's what I
evil
was
one.
about to get to as well, is because like the
Yeah,
sort of like change in like vocal performance from who was the actor again who voiced the meat?
and Miriam Margolyes.
Yeah, Miri, whoever her name is. They like the way the like vocal range just completely shifts. It's just like so entertaining because like
I mean, yeah, it is.
yeah
It is a actually incredible tab. I think and I mean like the mixture of prosthetics and like the like actual like thing with like CGI as well. I think like I think the Meep is just done really well in this story. I think the like a highlight, especially with like
the only thing I will
I
say
think
is
obviously I
that
think like
like
the Meep.
the design like it works for the first half, but in the second half it just kind of isn't as threatening as like it's
It,
supposed to be because it's sort of this cuddly
it
design.
does become a bit of a mustache twirler basically.
Yeah, that's it.
Um,
Which I don't really have a
in
problem with in
yeah,
like
I think the
a like sci-fi show like this where it's supposed to be a bit like tongue in cheek and not like wholly serious in some
hmm,
aspects.
but obviously then I guess the um obviously the next major part after like the trial scene is like obviously um the part where um obviously Donna's starting to remember um like starting to remember the doctor like she never learns the doctor's name. I'm pretty sure she doesn't learn the doctor's name throughout this story, but she calls him the doctor when he goes into the ship. And, like she sort of like separates herself from like the family and like tells them to go and stuff. um Obviously then um we've got like the scene inside the ship where it's the doctor just sort of um using his sonic, and then when it gets deadlocked he's using it, he's trying to stop the ship by hand, and then obviously gets put in half, like the room gets put in half. I think the um and then with the big um when the doctor forces Donna to remember, it's the so I think based on how much time they spent, this is another criticism I would have, is based on the time the doctor spent talking rather than actually doing anything with the ship. When when Donna became the Doctor Donna again, it didn't really feel like they had much left to do to stop the ship. Like,
I mean, it did feel
didn't
like
that feel like
there
the
was.
same for you?
I feel like for me, it was like they didn't really have another choice because like I think it was like something to do with like, the time limit they had was just like slowly waning to where like the only choice they had was to
Yeah,
bring her back. So I don't
yeah,
feel
because
like
like
it
they
was
had
like
like
a
three
forced
hundred. They had
thing
like
where like they could have done it
they had
either
like
way.
5 minutes left. I think no, because like
I feel like what it
the
was as
doctor
well is
started
that
telling
because they
Donna.
were separated, right? So I feel like maybe
Yeah,
if
yeah. I mean,
I feel like the issue was that Donna didn't know what she was doing, so there
yeah,
wasn't enough
yeah. I
time either
think
way.
because the doctor was telling Donna exactly which buttons to press. But I mean, she did them pretty fast, and I mean, when the main point is that the doctor tried that, but then stopped, then just like stopped. It feels like they had a lot of time for the doctor just to tell Donna what buttons to press. But I think maybe it has something to do with like doing specific things at the same time. It might be like I don't know. Um, but I think um I think the scene obviously had emotional weight, but I think the do you think how would you have felt if they actually killed Donna in this
I
story?
would have. I wonder if I would have maybe preferred that because like it would have upped the stakes for like the. But the next season, you could feel like anything could happen. But like the only issue with
Hmm.
killing Donna is that like this whole like 3-parter specials, they sort of need Donna there as like
Yeah,
the sidekick. So you'd need to have someone else as the sidekick. But like
yeah.
it's just kind of like I mean, I would have
I
probably
think the
maybe preferred it because it would have like added another layer of stuff as like especially the way that they bring her back. It just seems a bit like out of nowhere, which like I'm pretty sure we'll get to more in a
yeah,
little bit. But it just sort of like it feels like it needed like some sort of like higher stakes in the episode. Like, of course, you have like the Meek trying to destroy stuff, but like for like this big like
yeah,
special for this new era, it feel like it needed something that really upped the stakes. And like
yeah,
if like someone like Donna were to die, that could have been something that would have like really like made the new series like feel like something different or like
yeah,
something that's going to take risks.
yeah, yeah. I think the honestly, I'm torn on whether it should have happened or not. I don't know. I think the it would have definitely been a big statement just to straight up just kill Donna like that. But I mean, like it would have been like people would have been it would have definitely been a shock to a lot of people. I think people definitely expected sort of like a um Donna not to die. I think the I think um so I guess now obviously we're we've got past that part. Obviously now we're um up to like the right at the end now with the big
The woke agenda, the woke mob is making Doctor Who a show that respects rights of people, which it's never done in the past.
yeah.
It's never done that.
Then again, do you do you not do you disagree that the
I do
ending
agree. Yeah,
message
it's very
which
forced.
was
It's
doing
like incredibly
it,
forced.
yeah, it feels pretty preachy, honestly.
Oh yeah,
It kind of
absolutely.
does. I think some parts. So I think
It feels like
I
so
think the
preachy to the point where it's confusing. Like it's being so preachy to like I don't even understand like what message they're trying to get across, because they're trying to be so
I
in
think-
your face about it that like it just seems like confusing about what they're trying to say about like, the Doctor or whatnot from this
I think
ending.
I think the main thing they're going for is like be yourself. It's like no matter what, be yourself, and to parents, let your child be themselves. But I think like the message got lost in like sort of in my opinion, uh pointless guy bashing basically. In my opinion, I
Yeah,
think the
maybe it would have worked better if like the instead of like the focus being on the Doctor, if the focus was on Rose, I feel like it might have worked a bit better.
I just think the message just sort of got messed with when they said like a male presenting Time Lord wouldn't understand letting something go. And I think the Doctor retains memories, and I mean um like the 14th Doctor clearly looks up to Jodie Whittaker's Doctor based on how he describes her. So I think the Doctor very much understands what it's like to be a woman and stuff. So I think um it just feels like because the Doctor is it feels like it feels like the message that they're trying to send, like at least to it feels like the message that it sounds like, but not like what it probably is that if you're male presenting, there's like um there's some things like um you can't do, like
Yeah, it felt
emotionally,
like
I guess.
exclusionary instead of like trying to like
Yeah,
build up people.
it, messages that yeah, exactly, that's the um messages that build people up shouldn't try to drag people down. You should try and put everybody up, rather than like drag someone down to try and pull someone up. I think the it could have been done so much better. um it just feels like um just sort of some throwaway lines just sort of ruined it a bit, in my opinion. I think the
I would say what like
um
ruined it is more like the self seriousness of the reveal, where it like acts as if this is like this big like massive thing that everyone should pay attention to the point where like it kind of
Yeah.
feels like condescending as well. I feel like even without
Yeah.
the sort of like male presenting Time Lord bit, it would also just like it seems like it's talking down to the audience, where like the rest of the episode did a good job of like showing these themes in like a way that like
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
wasn't like talking down to
I think
anyone.
the yeah, it's the I think I had something in my head that I just completely forgot about because it was
To the woke lizard
oh,
people, they're getting to you. Right, so
the
what are you about to say?
oh wait, oh no, I completely forgotten now. God damn it!
So-
There was something.
Unless it
pretty
comes
big.
back to you, we might as well just keep moving on with the
Yeah.
episode.
So so obviously then we get that part, and then they let go of the meta crisis energy sort of thing, and then they manage, so they survive, retaining all their memories and stuff, and then that's that's pretty much the entire episode, I think. Then obviously you've got like the meat gets ejected, even though there's just one button that just ejects the meat, I guess. And then they get arrested. Like
But-
the bug
But, like,
creatures
and you
come
know
back,
what?
even though
they have this incredible like setup about the one who waits. I have a little theory about this.
Yeah.
I think
Or,
the
like-
one who waits. I mean, I don't know this because we've only just watched the Starbeast has only just come out. But I think the one who waits
Yeah.
might actually be this obscure character from like a few from the old series called Sutek. I don't know where this is coming from. That's just my theory that I've just come to all
very
my
interesting
own.
theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very unique theory that like
Very unique.
I should have probably said spoilers for the series finale, but I'm sure I can add that or something. But
Possibly. But yeah, I think
you've all seen it. If
um,
you're watching this, you've probably already seen it.
yeah. So I think that was pretty much most of the episode. I think, in my opinion, I think that the episode was good. There were some points that just sort of stick out to me, in my opinion, and the message just sort of got sullied at the end. But the overall, I think
Yeah,
it,
the
it
weird thing
tried
about that
best.
message as well is that it already worked so perfectly within the episode without it. They're just adding it just like completely invalidates like the whole episode because like they already did such a good job of like representing it just in like regular scenes that having
Yeah,
like a thing of it literally talking to the audience and like telling the themes just feels like lazy
yeah.
and something that they didn't even need to do.
Mm. It was quite evident at, from at least at that point. So it's like the the message the message was a good one, very much a good one that I'm glad that Doctor Who is tackling, but that the it's coming from a place that Russell T Davies um is like trying his best to write for, but obviously as someone who's not entire he's not transgender themselves, but is like LGBT is like um they're like um it's coming from a place of love that that felt like was that they tried a bit too hard, in my opinion, to push a positive message. It feels like
Do
it
you
kind of
think that
backfired.
they could have been trying to sort of like cause outrage with the episode, especially the way it was at the end, where it sort of felt like they wanted to sort of push it into the sort of like people who already didn't like the Whittaker era that like yes the show's changed but we still have these like beliefs and you can be part of it or not be, and it's just like letting the people know that this show is still supporting those people in like a very
Yeah,
blunt way to sort of like tell those people that this is still part of the show.
I feel based on how Russell T Davis has like responded to like sort of criticisms and stuff, whether most of the time it's unwarranted criticism that are just like uh, there's just like dumb throwaway comments that people have just thrown to his work, as well as towards other probably more warranted criticisms of parts of the show. It feels like it might have been intentional, but I guess we won't know
Yeah,
because
the only way we'd know
obviously
is from the bird's mouth. Is that a saying?
unless he just comes out and says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the but yeah, overall, I think are we going to do like a score thing or like a
We might as well.
where we
Or like, is it going to be a
might as
tier
well.
list or like a score out of 10?
Um,
I kind of like.
well, what do you think?
I kind of like the score out of 10 because it's just like gives you more of an idea.
Well, okay. Well, I've done sort of my closing statement. You do sort of like
So
you
yeah,
do your
this
sort of
this like episode for me is just sort of like it is like just like it's a good episode, but it's just like there's nothing that really like grips me about it. It's just sort of like an episode of the show where like it has this sort of like it just feels like a regular like it feels like one of the specials from like a few years ago where it's like remember like the Matt Smith like Christmas episodes where like nothing would happen
yeah.
but it's like a special. It kind of feels
Hmm.
like that where it just felt a little like even though it's this big like event it just felt a little uneventful for me and
Okay.
like for like a special that introduced the new era I just felt like it was really lacking some sort of like big new thing. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like
And
it does get that later on with the series as it goes. But like from this opening episode, it just feels like there's not like a clear statement of what like Russell wants the show to be. Where like I feel like that would
yeah.
have really helped with the with, like getting people on board with the show.
Yeah. And I'll just put that out there. It's just like I feel very much the same way because I feel I was when I watched this episode, I was getting ready for something that would just sort of like wouldn't just pull me in as like a returning viewer who's like watched for years and years. It's like something that would also pull new people in. Like I definitely sort of didn't really feel that, you know. Like I
And
felt
as we
like
can see by the ratings, it feels like a lot of people also didn't exactly feel very confident with where the show was going.
yeah. So I think I'm ready to like give my score, but I think honestly, I think out of 10, I would give
Are we
it
allowed to have
a.
like points, like 0.5 or something, or is it just like
Oh yeah,
solid
sorry. What?
numbers?
Well, like sort of like stuff that I liked, like just
No,
like
as in like
bullet point
with
level.
like the numbered list, the numbered score. Are there allowed to be like 0.5s
Yeah.
and stuff in between?
Yeah, yeah. I would say yeah, but I probably won't.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I think
I
it's
would. Yeah, I would have gone a 6.5, maybe a 7 at most.
hmm, um I'm sticking with a 6, but
Yeah,
you going with a 6.5 or
6.5 probably.
okay? So you read it slightly higher than I do.
Only
I
very
think
slightly.
only very slightly, but I think um there are a lot of criticisms of the episode. Most of it very much unwarranted. I think it's better than average. Um, but I think
I
the
wouldn't even say that. I'd say it's just a very average episode. Like, I don't think there's much that makes it better than like an average episode of the show.
yeah,
But yeah, I could understand like the sort of like impact it would have on like younger trans people, especially.
yeah. So but obviously, like the discourse around it is like most of it is just toxic nonsense. But obviously there are obviously some
What, the
valid
Doctor
criticisms
Who
of like the
fan base
story.
is
Yeah,
toxic? That's new. I've never heard of that.
yeah.
You sound crazy.
Uh, well, I guess that was um a very long discussion about usually this is usually how most of mine and TNS's discussions go over these sorts of things, but I
Yeah,
think but let let us know
yeah.
if you think our criticisms is were warranted, or if you think or if you just think me and them are just completely full of shit, but
Which we probably are.
it's
I'll
if
admit,
you think
like,
it's if you yeah
everyone's
probably
opinions are valid except for people who think the show is woke. Well, that's also valid, but if you're annoyed that the show is woke, then like if that's your only criticism, get at least one other criticism of the show. It can be the most like bullshit thing ever, where like you didn't like how the lens choice or something. It could be something like that. But just not that the show is woke, because that's not a criticism. It's something
no it's
intentional in
not
the show. It has to be something that like is something where like maybe it would make sense to someone else who isn't part of this rabbit hole of
yeah
people who criticize it for only that reason.
yeah so I think obviously our perspectives a lot come from different areas hit TNS is a lot more knowledgeable about what goes into like film production, and I'm just sort of like a regular viewer of Doctor Who. So most of mine comes from like plot and just sort of like character development. A lot is my sort of thing, and I feel like character development in this one was top notch in my opinion. Obviously, characters were already very well developed beforehand, but I think like it carries over very well. And I think like in your area of like film and stuff, how did you think overall the episode was when it comes to like production
Although
and
the
those
technical
sorts of
side of
stuff?
things, it is like
Yeah.
a big step up from like the previous sort of
Oh yeah.
like it is like I'd say one thing is it's very well paced as well. Like it feels like if anything I'd say it's a little bit too like fastly paced where it's like jumping around from one thing to another and it doesn't really
Yeah.
give you a lot of time to breathe. But like in terms of like this big like sci-fi adventure, it really works in that aspect.
Yeah. I think the obviously I think a lot of the with like the increased budget and stuff, obviously the you would expect there to be sort of that sharper look to some stuff. I mean like even like the things like the cracks that formed like the street that just sort of magically sort of healed themselves. They still look pretty nice in my opinion. I think
I mean, I
they
guess
look
so, yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to do stuff like that where it doesn't look goofy,
hmm,
especially if you go in for this big like action thing with like a TV budget. It can look a bit strange, but I feel like they pulled it off quite well.
yeah. But I think the um overall, I think the the episode better than average. That's why I didn't give it a 5. I give it a 6. I would say it's better. I like, obviously, I like the scale. 5 is average, like bang in the middle. I would say it's above that. It's the um a good. I felt like it was a promising start with some um worrying discourse that was very early on that I thought that I anticipated might have happened, but when I watched it all those months ago, it happened a lot sooner than I was expecting. So that did give me a bit of a worry about the future. But then I guess
And I'm sure
um
from now on, Doctor Who has learned from this mistake, and they've never included anything woke ever again.
oh, then Wild Blue Yonder happened, and then one gag. I'm going to have a rant next
Oh
episode
god.
about the beginning.
No, I like that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that next episode when we talk about Wild Blue Yonder, which I'm excited for.
I'm
For
excited
many,
for it,
many
but
reasons.
I might also piss you off with my thoughts on it, even though, yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh yeah, that's the end of this timey wimey talk. Or if we change the name, you'll see in the logo when TNS designs the new logo. There is a new logo.
I'll very officially edit what you say to where it says something else in like a robot voice. It'll say the name of the show instead.
But yeah, that was this. I hope our opinions mattered to you at all. You didn't ask for them, but
Yeah,
we gave them anyway. We decided to tell you anyway. Let us know if
we sat you down, we kidnapped you just to tell you our opinions on a show where someone just walks around the magic box.
Yeah. But like a YouTube comment, we're there anyway, whether you like it or not.
Make sure to comment in the video that this is woke nonsense.
Yes. Thanks for listening, and I think we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.